please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's what our producer told you to say. Told us. Wait, hold on. If you like these rapid responses, please hit the subscribe button on our Raging Moderates YouTube channel.
Yeah, smash it. That's what the kids tell me you're supposed to say.
That's right.
Smash it. Now we're going to talk about AG Pam Bondi's Senate hearing.
Welcome to Raging Moderates. I'm Scott Galloway.
And I'm Jessica Tarlov.
Attorney General Pam Bondi faced a fiery Senate hearing today, dodging, deflecting, and delivering one-liners as Democrats grilled her over everything from the Epstein files to drone strikes on drug cartels. Bondi refused to discuss whether the DOJ considered prosecuting Trump's political opponents, sparred with Senator Dick Durbin over National Guard deployments and the Epstein files, and said that Democrats didn't seem to care about Epstein before she took office. Let's watch a clip.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. You won't do it today, but eventually you will.
Thoughts?
She does a good job. I mean, she does the job that Trump wants her to do. And anytime that there's bad press about her, like especially around, having the social media influencers with the Epstein files, like the fake binders, and you think like, oh my God, this is so utterly mismanaged, right? And this storyline has gone on for months and months and months, and she's made him look like he's covering up something that he maintains that he's not covering up. You think like, is Pam for the long haul? And all of the reporting says that Trump just is obsessed with her. Like, he thinks she's so good. She obviously totally looks the part. I heard a stat that she, has given an interview to Fox, I think like 30 of the 35 weeks that she's been in office. And her non-responsiveness also comes with this sass that I think the administration feeds off of. I mean, there are obviously some bad non-responsive moments or that indicate that there is certainly more to this story. Like Sheldon Whitehouse pressed her on whether the FBI has pictures of Trump from Epstein's safe, and she's non-responsive about that. And after we've seen the birthday book, I think that there is good reason to think that that is certainly possible. And one thing that really stuck out to me was that she, when talking about Comey and whether it was a political prosecution and how she's at dinner in the Rose Garden that now looks like the Mar-a-Lago deck right before his indictment, that she kind of alluded to or intimated that she knew the makeup of the grand jury pool, saying that they were, quote, liberal. And obviously grand jury is supposed to be secret. And, I have no reason to think that any norms and standards are being adhered to, especially considering that Lindsay Halligan, who's an insurance lawyer who's never prosecuted a case like this, is the one that's in charge. But if she does know exactly who's on that grand jury, that's a pretty big deal. And, an indictment of the way that this DOJ is being run. What were your thoughts, Epstein answers or otherwise?
I'm convinced that the most important person, arguably in the world right now, but I think the most important person in America has been dead for a couple of years. I'm not sure we aren't sending troops into Portland because of Jeffrey Epstein. I think the cover-up here is it's so obvious that he will do anything to keep these files from coming public. There is so much evidence everywhere that there's information that he does not want to get out. And I'm convinced, it is exactly what I would do if I were advising the president, to use AI to figure out every 48 hours how to keep Epstein out of the news cycle. And as long as there's people en masse pulling people out of cars and arresting people, and some people, say it's about time, that's a shame, but that people have taken advantage of our immigration laws, and it dominates the news cycle. And then when Pam Bondi, when Director Patel says that all files that can be legally released have been released, that's just blatant lying to Congress.
And that there was no sex trafficking. That was my favorite out of the Patel hearing.
That didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that this strikes me is that it upsets me that the Attorney General, she's essentially the president's private lawyer in charge of the DOJ now. And we generally haven't crossed that line before. It's been crossed. And so the Attorney General who leads the DOJ is nominated by the president and confirmed by the Senate. And the president can set broad policy priorities and issue executive orders and remove the Attorney General and other DOJ officials. However, to preserve the rule of law, the DOJ is expected to operate independently in criminal investigations and prosecutions, and meaning the president should not interfere in specific cases, which is clearly happening. And Congress has oversight authority. It has the funding power. It has confirmation hearings. It has investigative powers, legislative control, and also Congress can also impeach officials, including the Attorney General or even the president, for serious misconduct. So what we see is a group of individuals who've decided, and I think Director Patel and AG Bondi have just decided, I don't report to the American people. I certainly don't report to Congress or any sort of oversight. I'm here for one guy. That's it. And Congress's inability or unwillingness, especially on the Republican side, to do their job and act as a co-equal branch of government and demand certain disclosure and certain documents. I thought for a while that, in fact, there were a small but important number of Republican representatives who were like, this is ugly. We need to release the Epstein files. But I think the Trump administration and the Commerce Department has done a really good job of booting him out of the news cycle. So those calls seem to be somewhat lessening.
Well, and now they're not confirming the new Congresswoman from Arizona, Grijalva, because she would be the 218th vote on the Epstein discharge petition. So, to their credit, Massey, obviously, Lauren Boebert, and Marjorie Taylor Greene are sticking with it, plus Mace. But they need Grijalva's vote. And Johnson hasn't sworn her in, which I'm sure is a violation. Like, the people of Arizona deserve to have their representative in office. The government is shut down right now. There are important votes that should be taken, not just on the discharge petition, but they'll do anything to avoid moving that ball forward, which indicates maybe Donald Trump's picture is in the safe. I have this larger issue, though, about what we do. So obviously you have to, in order to do all the things that you listed that Congress is entitled to do, but certainly isn't going to with a Republican majority, we have to win the midterms. And then with a majority, you can start having all those hearings. I mean, you can do an impeachment, but it'll fail in the Senate like it did twice before in the first Trump administration. But we have had Merrick Garland was the Biden AG and slow walked even appointing Jack Smith, right, to look into Mar-a-Lago documents, January 6th, et cetera. So I understand that you don't want to have a Democratic Pam Bondi, but we can't go down this route again. And it's a question also for the kind of candidates that are going to win in 26 and who will eventually be the nominee in 28, because the rules of the game are completely different now. And as Governor Pritzker, was talking about, people want to see backbone, right? And they want to see fight. And, Pam Bondi is representative of this complete shift in Republican politics, at least, where it's just I'm going to do anything that the guy who sits in that office does, right? I am the henchwoman. And I wonder how Democrats are going to respond to that, because it's not in our nature to put someone so callous and so willing to undermine the office and the independence of the DOJ in a job like that.
Yeah, I think that essentially the country right now, domestically, is being run by a pedophile who's been dead for 2 years. And I think he's the most influential force in American politics right now. And it's just strange. And also, I don't know how you restore some level of, I think when you report to Congress, you should just show a little bit more, and this goes for Democrats and Republicans. I think when you're sitting before Congress and the people who are elected to represent 700,000 or 800,000 Americans, you are, in my opinion, should pay a severe price when you show that level of disrespect or refusal to provide the truth. It feels as if there's just a breakdown in any sort of decorum or obligation or fidelity to the Constitution. Anyways.
Well, it's weird to me that you're hauled in front of the Senate and you don't think you have to say anything. They're basically just saying you have to subpoena me if you want me to be responsive or tell the truth.
I'm not going to answer that. And when you're not going to answer that, that basically means, yeah, you're right. But I'd rather just not answer it. I don't want to perjure myself. I won't go that far. But no, I don't want to answer that because the president won't like my answer.
Yeah.
All right, Jess. This has been another, what do we call this? Rapid response.
Oh, yeah. RR.
This is a rapid response, only available to subscribers of our YouTube channel. What is real? Rapid, R squared. Rapid response. Don't worry. All right, Jess. Have a good rest of the day.
You too. See you later.